Evening, guys. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Was sitting here doing a little gaming this evening, and I took a break and I was reading some news articles, and there was one that popped up that said farmers are starting to get their equipment repossessed because they can't pay their bills. I'm going to put a link to the news. What I'm thinking of, the news story. I'll put it in the description, and you guys can click on it and look at it. Now, this was up in Minnesota, so you know that and if you listen to the news story as they're talking, they said, first we were talking about, cars getting repossessed. Now farmers are getting their equipment repossessed because they can't pay their bills. So I'm going to do some more digging on this and see what kind of the percentage of that stuff is. But a lot of this, these guys younger, they go out and they buy this expensive equipment, and it's unreal. I think the last time I got on John Deere and priced a brand new combine with both bean and corn heads, it was like $1 million, or it was close to it. And this, the amount of money you have to make to do that. I remember growing up, we were grain farmers, and let's see, we farmed. I think one of the farms that we rented, it was 500 acres. And I had a house that set like you had the owner, he had his house, and then the farm, and there was a farmhouse that sat down the road, and we lived in it until my parents built a newer house. And I think this was in 80, I think they finished it in 89. It was in the late 80s. And we just, we did whatever we had to do. We always had used equipment and stuff, and it was funny because the guy in this news story, he's using a John Deere tractor from the 70s, the kind I remember that we had. I think it was a 4430. I do remember we had one of those, but it was just interesting to see that pop up. This it's spreading. You got. FHA mortgages, there's 900,000 in delinquency or foreclosure. You're getting all these car repossessions. You're getting all this credit card debt people can't pay on. I'm kind of waiting to see what the bankruptcies kick up to, see how high they get. And now we got the farmers. So, if they get their equipment repossessed, they can't plant. So it means they won't be doing any harvesting. So that right there, that can start leading to famine. High diesel prices, the fertilizer, with all that, with the nitrogen or whatever they get from over in the Middle East. All this stuff will just keep spreading and spreading. So anyway, like I said, make sure you go click into the description, and I'll put the link to the news story in there. You guys can watch it. It's from up in Minnesota, but don't be surprised you start to see that stuff spread. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks for watching.